Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and welcome back to my Great Vault video series. This week, week number 3 of the patch, I think. Week number 2 of Mythic Vaults. And up first, we've got my Monk. Sort of my main, although I'll probably be swapping, in fact, I'll almost definitely be swapping to my Death Knight for Dimensius. But we don't have Salhadar dead just yet. Hopefully tonight, tomorrow, that could die. Could have died last night, that would have been really cool. But it didn't. So we've got 2 slots of the Great Vault with Mythic Raid loot on this character, both of which have been upgraded to Mythic 3, Myth Track 3. We'll go loot spec Brewmaster, because there is a good tank trinket from Soul Hunters that I'd be pretty happy to see. And then also I filled out the M+ rows of the vault as well. I did do hard mode Tazavesh on this thing again last week, and I got a ring that isn't actually good stats for me, but it let me upgrade the second of my other rings for cheap. It's this thing, Ring of the Panoply, which I got on multiple characters out of my Tazaveshes last week. I did 3 of them last week. I'm now 5 for 5, undefeated Tazavesh champion. Hopefully that continues this week. Let's see what we get out of the vault, though. Brand of Ceaseless Ire would be cool. Boots from the Soul Hunters would be cool. All right, so the 2 highest power slots, we've got Indestructible Myth Track chest piece. Unfortunately, my chest piece currently is a BOE with Avoidance, so upgrading out of that would be a little bit of a shame, but the chest piece is a high-budget slot. The other option here is a helmet. Unfortunately, my current helmet is a Socket Avoidance tier helmet, so upgrading out of that would also be a little bit of a shame. And then we have a Hero Track belt. Well, at least the belt showed up in this slot, because belt would be also a big shame to take. Then we have some Myth Track shoulders, which I already have Myth Track shoulders. A Myth Track belt, which I don't want. And then a Mythic Tome of Light's Devotion. This is actually a pretty good trinket. The problem is both of my current trinkets are pretty irreplaceable for me, at least on Salhadar, which is the last fight this character is going to play. The All-Devouring Nucleus Cheat Death is really strong, and the Brand of Ceaseless Ire, I think, is going to outperform, especially because this doesn't even save crests. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is take the chest piece. I'll eat the avoidance loss, because it's going to gain a lot of stamina. And then I probably won't catalyze this. The haste isn't great. The crit is. Crit is the Brewmaster, is a really good stat for Brewmaster. So that's pretty likely what I'm going to do. That seems better than going for a helmet, although I could catalyze the helmet, so I would gain... I wouldn't lose... Like, I wouldn't end up with any haste on my character by taking the helmet. I would lose avoidance and a socket instead of just avoidance, though, which is what I'm losing off of the chest piece. And they are similar. So the question is giving up a socket worth transmuting like 858 haste into verse is basically what I'd be accomplishing there. Actually, into a little bit more verse and then a little bit less crit. That's probably pretty close, actually, because haste is a lot worse than the other stats, so this might end up being a take the helmet and catalyze it angle. Might also end up waiting until Reclear, although I gotta see, this character's very low priority for getting gear from Reclear. In fact, I don't think this character's killing any bosses on Reclear, so I probably don't have to wait till Reclear, because I'm gonna want to gear up my Death Knight with pretty much everything, so yeah. Alright, that's where this character's at. I guess I probably have to do some math on the difference between the socket and the haste before I take this, which I won't bore you with in this video. Alright, up next is my Death Knight. No mythic bosses killed, but 8 dungeons done. Looking for an upgrade here. My Tazavesh this week gave me the Ring of the Panoply on this character as well, last week. And then I also have Myth Track gloves on this character, which I haven't catalyzed yet because I had just tier gloves. So I upgraded those instead for free. Because I don't want to really spend crest on the glove slot anyways, unless it'll be hard for that to be my best option for my crest. But yeah, this character is basically sitting on every resource until we start pulling Dimensius. So all my crests, all my sparks are unspent. Hoping for a weapon here. Crafting a weapon would be fine, would be great as well, but a two-hander would go crazy here. Okay, we've got the Ringing Ritual Mud, a tank trinket that is actually not bad, but is not something that it's not something that I think I want. Actually, this could be the kind of trinket that would be good for Dimensius. This sort of thing maybe is actually a consideration for that boss. Ooh, we have Myth Track Pants. That's probably going to be the pick here. There is also Myth Track Shoulders. Now, the shoulders are coming pre-catalyzed, which is nice. On the other hand, I do have 3 catalyst charges on this character. It's going to be hard to need all 3. So there's a decent chance that taking the legs are going to be better than taking the shoulders. Either way, this one's also going to be a wait and see what happens in Reclear. It would be hard for taking the legs to be a mistake, but you never know. Like, there's not a lot of plate wearers in our Dimensius comp. And so Fractal has dropped some legs. I don't know if these are spoken for yet. And I also don't know, like, tier shoulders. Where I don't remember where the tier shoulders or the off-piece plate shoulders drop. But if any of those drop, like, either of those could change the decision-making here. I could end up taking the Ritual Mud if things go really well and I get, you know, myth track stuff in both of those slots. I probably don't want to play this on... But again, like, you know, that's a large absorb. This is the sort of thing... On Dimensius, I'm getting basically time dilation on CD in the last phase, so this instead could probably accomplish the same thing. And that would be maybe really nice, so definitely worth considering. All right, here's my Demon Hunter. Former main. Once we killed Forge Weaver, it's pretty much not doing anything except for carrying other guildies through Tazaveshes as needed. The result of which last week was another weapon, so now I have the Event Horizon's Edge, the First Fist of the So Cartel with Leech, which I got from my first Tazavesh, a Crafted Warglaive, and also these Unbound Training Claws from Raid 2. So I got 4 Myth Track or Crafted Mythic weapons on this character, hoping to avoid a 5th here. Loot spec, Havoc's probably fine. Yeah, because we didn't kill Soul Hunters, so that trinket isn't in the table here. Ooh, the 1 raid slot is... quite a strong one here with the Charhound's Vicious Scalp, the helmet. There's also, though, an Arakara Sack Brood. This is a good trinket. I do, again, have this combo that I really like here, Brand of Seeds Desire, just being generally pretty good, and the All-Devouring Nucleus being a good cheat death trinket. Mythtrack Sack Brood, though, we do know that Turbo Boost is coming this season, but if I wanted to buy a Sack Brood, that would take me one of my dinar, assuming it works like it does last season. Hopefully they just take away the cap of only being able to buy 3 things, because that was kind of annoying. Yeah, I'm gonna take the helmet probably on this character. This is a lot of item level to go on a slot like helmet, right? Like, this is probably gonna be a bigger upgrade than the Sack Brood, which I already have trinkets that I like. So, yeah, we'll go with the Charhound's Vicious Scalp. I think here, this character is at least mercifully I don't have to wait like I do on my other characters, and see what we get out of the other things. So, yep, all right, not bad, not a bad outcome. Again, the Sack Brood's whatever. It's a pretty good trinket, but I can buy one of those in Turbo Boost, Myth Track tier in a good stat budget slot. That's pretty good. All right, here's my Paladin. Not a raid character this tier. Was briefly being used as one of my alts in the first week of splits. Then I swapped off of that to gear the DK instead. I did do a key on it last week, though, so we could spike a big shield or weapon here. Either of those would be pretty cool. A big ring would also be nice. Let's see what we've got. Overpressure. Plate legs, eh? Okay. Myth track legs. Can't be too sad about that. In fact, legs are currently my off-piece, and this looks like really good stats. Because right, I have 4-piece on this character, not using legs. What is the set? How do I look at this thing? It's in, like, item sets. Okay, yeah. Legs. Yeah, legs are mastery crit. I mean, those are good stat. Mastery is a good stat, but haste mastery is probably a better stat. I could probably just keep these as an off-piece and be very happy with that. That'll be a great place to dunk some Gilded Crest into. Let's buy the armor kit before I forget, because I always forget to buy armor kits. Because whatever add-on I have that's putting the, like, not enchanted doesn't tell me if my legs are not enchanted. I don't know what a good fix is. If you have a good add-on in the comments that, like, tells you if your legs are not enchanted, I need that. But yeah, there you can see, like, once it's enchanted, it shows next to it, but for some reason it just doesn't do the not enchanted thing that it will with the other slots. So yeah, whatever. Small gripe. Good outcome from the vault. 1 key. I mean, the best thing would have been weapon or shield, but I can craft those, and crafting those is honestly fine. And then yeah, legs, chest piece, helmet. I mean, pre-catalyzed helmet or chest piece would probably have been ideal, with a socket and avoidance if it was the helmet or leech. Would that have been too much to ask for? I guess maybe a little bit, but legs, mythic legs. Can never be too sad about that. That could have very easily been a belt. Gosh, what a scary thought. Any of these vaults could be a belt. Anytime you do just one key, you could get a belt. So here's my Druid, hoping to avoid the curse of the belt. I also did just one key on this character. A myth track. Harvester's Interdiction would have been nice. Oh gosh, the belt. Oh, the belt. That's not good. We do have some raid slots here, including another belt. Oh gosh, the belt though, that is very much not good. I don't even think I want this long term, because I think long term I want the crafted belt, like super long term. And I don't want to take... Man, am I considering an Algari token of merit here? I don't even have anything myth track to put my stupid token of merit into. I guess I could craft bracers, because I think the ideal long-term bis is pick up one of these bad boys on the myth track, and then have the tank belt and the bracers, and both of those would accept a socket. I could craft the bracers or the belt now as well. I have the sparks, and I think I have the gilded. I'll have the gilded if I do my delves this week to just make both of those. Yeah, I'm gonna take a socket. You're not gonna catch me selecting a 707 belt from the Great Vault this season. God, what a blunder of a season to do that with the belt. Absolute despair. Just turn the Great Vault into... I mean, the Great Vault already has bricks in it, but like, man, putting belts in there. They should just put cloaks in there as well. If they think it's fun for us to have a chance of opening a vault that's dead, they should just put cloaks in there as well. It'll be funny. I don't know. All right, next character. Let's see what we get here. The warrior is surely not going to befall the curse of the belt. I did 4 keys on this character, so if I get belts only, then I can be much more angry than I can be with my Druid. Obviously, like, it's one slot. The belt could happen. This character though, shield for sure. Ooh, a pacemaker. Pretty good trinket. There is an avoidance helmet. Unfortunately, I already have a tier helmet, but I don't think I've spent a catalyst charge on it. I think I just took it out of week 1 vault. So yeah, we'll slam this. Likely throw it in the catalyzer. It doesn't even break tier for me to put this on right now, because I am still on old 4-piece on this character. So yeah, I mean, myth track avoidance helmet. Can't be sad about that. Next week, when I see a belt on this character, I can take a socket and have a myth track piece to socket. So we're sort of double winning there. We're sort of triple winning as well, because we've got that beautiful Shadowlands helmet transmog. Wow, what a transmog they've made in the Shadowlands for those helmets. Really nice and blocky. Anyways, those are my vaults this week. I hope your vaults were better. I hope none of you were cursed by the belt in vault either, or as well. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.